Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video on my channel here. Now in today's video guys, I'm going to be bringing you a really good defense that you guys could use in Madden 21. This is going to be corner blitz 3 out of the big nickel over G formation. I'm going to be going over 3 different setups. The first one is going to be a very simple one. The next one is going to be more geared towards coverage. And then the last setup is going to be geared towards the blitz. So guys, I just want to address why I haven't been uploading for the past week. I had some personal things going on in my life and I honestly just wanted to deal with them before coming back to YouTube. I hope you guys understand, and now let's go ahead and let's do my shameless self-promotion. So if you guys do want to follow me on Twitter, my link is down below. Also, if you guys want to join my Discord channel, it will be the link down there as well. I will be talking about Madden, and I have everything set up. So guys, definitely go ahead and consider doing those 2 things. And also, if you guys want to check out my 2 most recent videos, they are going to be in the top right of your screen right now. But without further ado, guys, let's go ahead. Let's get into the video. Okay guys, so here we go. This is going to be big nickel over G right here, this corner blitz 3 play right here. So we're going to first move into the pre-play adjustments such as your personnel subs, your zone drops, and all that kind of things, and then we're going to move into the actual defense in the first setup. So the first thing you're going to do guys, we're going to address our personnel subs. Now how you're going to access that is you're going to press R1 on your controller, and what you're going to do here for your personnel subs, firstly we're going to go on the defensive line. You want to make sure that your best edge rushers, or your best defensive linemen, I have Eric Armstead and Nick Bosa. I am very fortunate as I'm using the Niners. They are going to be playing defensive tackle for me. The reason why is because these 2 edge spots right here, we are going to be using them to put them in hard flats and possibly curl flats as well, as we want to go and we want to use them for coverage. If we need a bit more coverage on the field in some situations, we're going to need to use them. So that's why I have them here. Moving on, in this linebacker spot, you want a really good linebacker. If you have a superstar ability linebacker, put him here. If not, somebody who's really good at zone, you want to put them there. So I'm very fortunate to have Fred Warner on the 49ers, so I put him in this spot. This spot here is going to be someone who's good at coverage, so I have Jimmy Ward right here, and he's pretty good. And then in this spot, you want to make sure that you have your best cornerback in terms of coverage. I have Richard Sherman. He has an X-Factor ability. He is very, very good, so I put him in that spot. And then also these outside corners, you want to make sure that you have very fast guys. So we do have Jason Verrett and then also Emmanuel Mosley, who I believe are pretty quick in the game. I'm going to be having them in these cornerback spots because they are going to be our users for this play. In case the play is auto flipped, we'll be using Emmanuel Mosley considering he's on the right side. However, if it's not auto flipped, we're going to be using Jason Verrett because he's on the left. And then the last thing we're going to do, we're actually just going to sub in Jaquiski Tart here. You just want to make sure that you have 2 decent players right here. So I have Jaquiski Tart, who's an 82 overall strong safety, and I have K'Von Williams, who's an 81 overall cornerback. They will do at these safety spots. Now let's go ahead, let's quickly touch up onto the coaching adjustments. So what I like to have here, ball in our defense is on play ball. The only situation where I would not have it on play ball is if I was in like a 4th and long or 3rd and long situation and all I wanted to do was just swat the ball. That's where I would go, and I would do play in a ball in air defense on swat ball just to be a bit more conservative, but most of the time I do have it on play ball. And then also here, my zone drops, my flats I have set at 5 yards, my curl flats I have set at 20 yards. So those are going to be your coaching adjustments right here. But now guys, we're going to move into the very first setup in this defense. Okay guys, so here we go. This is going to be the first setup here. I'm actually running on offense with the Atlanta Falcons. This play out of gun trips tight end. This is PA counter go. What I did was I put the outside receiver square on a smart right in route. Then I slanted the triangle receiver. I streaked the X receiver, and I put the running back on an option route. Now, the first setup here is going to be very easy. Only a couple steps. Now, keep in mind, guys, all the setups will be down in the description if you guys do need them. But the first setup here is going to be really easy. All you're going to want to do is firstly you want to make sure what side the blitzing cornerback is on. If for example, like gun trips tight end, most of the receivers are to the left. You see that the blitzing corner is on this right side. You're going to want to user him. You want to look on this right side. However, for example, against gun bunch, there is only one receiver to the left side, so the other receivers are on the right. That means that the cornerback is going to be on the left side. So keep in mind here, most of the time, he's going to be on the left side unless on the top of your screen or the top of the scoreboard it says defense auto flip. Then you're just going to want to make sure that you user the guy on the right side. So now let's go ahead, let's get into the actual setup. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to press our defensive backs, which is going to be triangle down the left stick. You basically see on this play that guys come semi down right here. I don't know why the outside corner on the left does not come down a lot, but that really shouldn't be a big issue. But you see that the seam flat on the left side actually comes down, which is big. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to shade over the top, which is going to be triangle and up on the right stick. Basically what this is going to do is it's going to take our seam flats and it's going to move them into curl flats, which are going to cover a lot of the crossing routes, corner routes, those kind of things much better than a seam flat would. Then we are going to pinch our defensive line, which is going to be left on the D-pad down on the left stick. Basically, you see here that our defensive line is just going to crash inside, and that's going to do slightly better against the run as opposed to if it was just left stock or if we spread the defensive line. And then the last thing we're going to do, guys, is we are going to spread our defensive line outside, or we're not going to spread our defensive line outside, we're going to slant our defensive line outside, which is left on the D-pad up on the right stick. So basically you're going to see here that they actually had a bit of orange for their pass rush animations right here, but because we slanted outside, they actually changed to red, which is what we want. I don't really think it matters that much, but it's good to just, you know, make sure. And now what you can see here, we're going to be using this player on the right side. Now there's a lot of good zones on the field. You have two curl flats, which is going to do very nicely against crossers and corners, as I mentioned before. Also, those deep out routes are going to do pretty good as well. And then that 3 reception hook that the linebacker is on, Fred Warner, that's going to be really key. That's why I wanted either a superstar ability linebacker if you have it, or a good coverage player, because the 3 reception hook is a great zone. It will play drags really well, it will play slants really well, and it will play streaks from the tight end very well. So it's going to be a very good route for you to have in the field. Now, in terms of what you're going to be covering on the field, you're going to be watching the flats, because these curl flats on the left and right side, they're going to be dropping way back in the coverage, so you're going to want to make sure that you cover the flats on the left and right side as well as in the middle, as it could get very, very exposed. But this setup is more geared towards being simple as well as having pass rush, because as you can see, we do have 4 guys blitzing. That's going to be really, really key. And that's pretty much it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this triangle receiver right here, Julio Jones. We're going to motion him over right here. He's on a slant, so it's a motion slant. You know, we love those on the channel. And we're just going to basically play this defense. You're going to see right here that Nick Bosa ends up getting through, and he ends up getting the sack. Now, the reason why he does have an X-Factor ability, by the way, was because I was labbing a bit before this video. So just keep that in mind. I didn't glitch the game. I didn't do anything wrong, and I did not mean to press flip sides. That is not good. So let me just do flip sides again just to make sure that we're going to be staying on defense. So we're going to go to the instant replay now, and we're going to take a look. So the first thing we're going to look at is going to be the option route. You know we love option routes on the channel. We're going to take a look. We see that we cover it actually pretty well. We actually kind of latch on to the slant route right here. And right when this route gets open, you're going to see that Nick Bosa is almost in Matt Ryan's grill, which is going to be a very big issue. You see also that right here when the slant does get open, Nick Bosa is literally hugging the Matt Ryan right here. The Matt Ryan. Wow, man, I really hype him up right here. But basically, he's going to be hugging him right there, and he's not going to be able to throw the ball. And if not, it's going to be a throw at a sack animation. We're going to take a look as well. This tight end, you're going to see that Fred Warner actually does a pretty good job right here. I actually want to highlight him. He does a pretty good job at covering this crossing route in the beginning, because if we had no inside zones or we had no middle zones, this would likely be open and my opponent would get a first down and even more. But you see that Fred Warner does a very good job at covering this, and then eventually he's going to come down to cover this smart routed in route right here from that far right side, which is going to be really key. And you will also see that the crossing route, I mean, right here it's kind of open, but you're seeing that basically Nick Bosa has already taken Matt Ryan down to the ground. And now we're going to cover the streak as well. I was going to cover that, but you're going to see the streak. I mean, yeah, you could throw it right here, but it's going to be a very tough throw, considering that not only is Fred Warner right here, but also you do have the 2 safeties who could make a play on the ball. So that's definitely a very risky throw for your opponent. And then last, we're going to cover right here this smart routed in route. Now you're going to see this kind of gets open on the backside because the corners are playing so far back, and also Richard Sherman is backing up. He does play it pretty good, but you see like I'd say right here you could throw this ball. So that's definitely going to be a weakness right there. You definitely want to watch those backside in routes. If your opponent is going to that consistently, you definitely want to go and make some changes. But this coverage is very simple. The setup was a very simple setup, as I mentioned before. It's more geared to getting guys towards the quarterback and getting sacks. It's not really geared towards having like maximum coverage on the field. So just keep in mind that you might give up a few yards if your opponent is very skilled and knows what he is doing. But guys, pretty much now we are going to head into the second setup. Okay, guys, so here we go. We are into the second setup. In the offense we are facing is gun bunch tight end. I ran the PA boot overplay, and the only adjustments I made was I optioned my running back and I streaked my tight end. So you're still going to have those crossing routes on the field. Now, what we're going to do for this setup here is we're first going to press, which is the same thing. We're just going to be triangle down the left stick. Also, before you do that, you do want to make sure as well what side the cornerback is on. If you're facing gun bunch tight end or gun bunch, or actually no, not gun bunch, gun trips tight end, the cornerback will be on the right side. So you just want to make sure that the cornerback will always be on the left side unless the defense is auto flips. So just keep that in mind, guys. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to shade over the top again, which is going to be triangle up on the right stick. You're going to see that once again, those seam flats will turn to cloud flats. Then we're going to pinch our defensive line, which is left on the D-pad down the left stick. We're going to slant outside, which is left on the D-pad up on the right stick. And also, I forgot a very important step. If you are facing a fast quarterback such as Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray, you want to make sure that you contain your edge rushers, which is going to be double tapping R1. This is going to serve dividends in the basically containing the running game of the quarterback. This could be doing really good. Now, since we do have Matt Ryan here, who's not really the fastest runner, let's be honest here, we're not really going to have to worry about him too much. So he's not going to be a point of emphasis. But if you are facing a guy like Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray, you definitely want to contain, which once again is double tapping R1. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put both of our outside defensive ends on hard flats, which should be double tapping the left D-pad, pressing their icons, which are square and O, and then we're going to be flicking the left stick to the left, which is a hard flat. And you're going to see right here that now we only have 2 guys rushing. However, since we did put our 2 best edge rushers in there, we're going to have a bit of an advantage over our opponent because we're going to have an X factor and a superstar player. Now, it might not be the case for all of you guys, but you're going to have your best edge rushers there, which is going to be really key. And also now we're playing maximum coverage. So once again, this setup is based purely on coverage. We're going to be trying to basically contain everything that we can, and that's going to be really key on this play. And then the last thing we're going to do, actually, it's not even the last thing we're going to do. Actually, yeah, I think that's pretty much it, right? Yeah, that's pretty much it. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to be using the cornerback right here that we are on right here and with the corner blitz. And what we're going to be trying to do is we're just going to be trying to play like this area right here, I guess you could say, like this area in the middle. It's going to be really key because this 3 reception hook, he's going to drop back and try to take away that crossing route. So it's going to be imperative that we play this side of the field because most likely our opponent is going to be trying to find a soft spot. But if you see, you have these hard flats on the field, now the flats are taken away. So your opponent has to really target the middle of the field. It's going to be really tough with Fred Warner right there in that 3 reception hook. So we're just going to hike this ball right here. You're going to see that we're just going to try and cover everything. Hard flats are covered. And Nick Bosa eventually does get a shed right there for a sack. Now, I did see at the end of that play that the crossing route was open. So just keep that in mind. If you're playing a lot of coverage, the passing is going to be... your opponent's going to have more of an opportunity to be patient. So just kind of keep that in mind right there. But we're going to take a look first of all at the option route by the running back. You're going to see that we kind of play that really well. And we sort of go on that drag route and then we kind of come back because we really want to take away what's in the middle. Now, this would be a sack in most situations from Nick Bosa, but he does get picked up because it's practice mode. So just kind of keep that in mind, but most likely he would be getting there. We're going to take a look as well at the tight end streak on this right side. You're going to see that Fred Warner covers at the beginning and then he sort of latches off, I guess, more towards the corner route as Hayden Hurst does run more up. But keep in mind, he is going to have both the free safety and strong safety right there trying to make a play on the ball if the quarterback does indeed throw it. Then we're going to take a look at this drag route. This is going to be really key because since we have the hard flats out there, this is now taken away. You're going to see that we cover this a little bit and then we're going to kind of latch off. The reason why we do that is because if my opponent chooses to throw this ball, it's most likely going to be an incompletion or at the very best an interception because this hard flat's going to be right here. So he's going to be trying to play the ball when it is thrown. So it's going to be really, really key that it's basically covered. It's going to be really key with those hard flats on the field, trying to contain those drag routes, the out routes, those sort of things. And it's going to take that away for your opponent. And because of that, he's going to be trying to force things in some situations, and as a result, it's most likely going to be an interception if he tries to do that. Then we're going to take a look as well at this crossing route. You're going to see once again that Fred Warner covers it pretty well. Gets open like right here, but you see that Nick Bosa is already in on the quarterback. Like, you know, only one offensive lineman's holding him back. He's most likely going to get an under pressure animation, so just kind of keep that in mind. And then finally, we're going to take a look at the steep post coming from the backside on the left side. You're going to see that he's covered pretty well by Jason Verrett. For some reason, I don't know why he veers off, but at this point, if he were to throw this ball like right here, the free safety would have a chance to make a play on it, as well as maybe the outside corner would come in for support. But that's pretty much it for the second setup. But now, guys, let's go ahead. Let's get into the third setup, which is the blitz. Okay, guys, so here we go. This is going to be the blitz setup right here. Now, we are going to be going, and the first thing we're going to be checking is we're going to be checking what side the blitzing corner is on. So we're going to see right here that the blitzing corner is on this left side. So that is why we're going to be really imperative. We're going to click onto this player. So the first thing we're going to do, guys, is we're going to press, which would be triangle down the left stick. Then we're going to shade with the top, which is triangle up on the right stick. Then we're going to slant our defensive line outside, which could be left on the D-pad, up on the right stick. Rather than pinching the defensive line, we're going to be slanting the defensive line outside. Then we're going to contain regardless if you're facing a fast quarterback or not, which could be double tapping R1. Then we're going to be moving this blitzing corner on the left side, who we usually would be using. We're going to move him in so he's on the contain. And basically when he's right like here, I'd say, you see how he's kind of on that contain right there? That's going to be really important because that's going to cause the pressure to get him really quick, and that's going to be really imperative. And then what you're going to do is you're actually going to be using this player right here who's in the 3 reception hook. You're actually be using him. Make sure you put him on a blitz as well, which is X and then down the right stick, so that he gets a bit more faster agility, change of direction and whatnot. So basically this is going to be the play right here. This is going to be the blitz setup. Now obviously it is not geared towards coverage, but it is geared towards getting pressure in very quickly and possibly getting a sack. So what you could also do on this play is you could hover right over the center and you could try to tap him. So I'll just show you an example of that. We're going to see right here, we're going to tap the center, and this player is going to get in free, and as a result, we force a fumble, and we could have returned that for 6, but Nick Bosa had to fall down, so that's very unfortunate. But basically, you know, what we could do is we could try to tap the center to make the pressure come in a bit quicker, and if not, if we can't really do that, if the center drops back too far, then we're just going to be playing coverage on this play. So once again, the setup, you're going to press, shade with the top, slant your defensive line outside, contain, bring the blitzing corner in on the contain as so, and then we are going to be blitzing the user player right here in the middle who's on the 3 reception hook, and we're going to make sure that we hover in this gap. And I'm just going to quickly just do an option route and a drag, just a very simple setup. Let's just make sure he's on an option. Okay, so we're going to hike this ball. You can see right here we tap the center, and this pressure is going to get in very, very quickly, and we're going to cause a sack very quickly. So guys, I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, smash a like. Go smash 5 likes. Guys, take care. Most importantly, stay classy.